All right, here we go. We have another interesting webinar. This is Lance Luke and Martin Pea. Martin is behind the scenes guy, and he's going to be checking the chat on our Zoom, and then also hopefully checking Facebook if you're on Facebook with questions or comments. So welcome everybody who are on our Zoom platform and also on Facebook Live. And we have an interesting subject that's kind of a hot topic today about the high cost of electricity. And by the way, today is National Cereal Day. So I had my cereal this morning and I'm ready to go. Want to let you guys know the reason for us doing these webinars is to provide education for homeowners, condo building owners, property managers, attorneys, contractors, and whoever else is interested in the subject matter, which is basically building and construction issues. Once in a while we throw in some real estate stuff, but it's all kind of related to the general topic. So this webinar is presented by Construction Management Inspection, which is a company that I own, based in Honolulu, Hawaii, but we also serve mainly West Coast cities because I don't want to fly too far, for work. And before we get into the subject, I wanted to let you know that if you're located in Hawaii, there's a building facilities maintenance expo, property management expo in town, and it's going to be Wednesday and Thursday, March 8th and 9th. And there's like close to 300 booths there. I invite you to come. We have a booth, Martin and I, 116. And also, we're giving a seminar tomorrow, Wednesday, March 8th at 10 a.m. And the topic is, how safe is your building? And for each attendee that attends the seminar, we're giving them a free book. The book is available on Amazon for sale, but if you show up at the seminar, you get a free copy of the book. Also, we have a VIP entry form, and there's 4 things you can check off. You want to enter the $100 gift certificate drawing, and then we have a book of the month club that you can join. You get a free ebook on building and construction topics. I wrote or am writing every book, and it's free to join. And then you can also select get our newsletter, educational and current newsletter, which we issue probably quarterly. And then you can sign up for our Ask Building Expert webinars, free subscription, which you would get the notice and the Zoom link to join. So it's all free. If you need to enter, just let us know, and then we can email you the information. All right, so the topic of discussion today is, why is my Honolulu electric bill so high? And on Oahu, we have the major provider, which is Hawaiian Electric. Now, each island has a different electric company, which are all related, but they have different names, right? So it's not necessarily Hawaiian Electric for every island. And the question is, why is my bill so high? The bill keeps getting higher and higher. So there's various reasons that we're gonna discuss. And by the way, if you have any questions, please post them in the chat on Zoom or in the comment section on Facebook. So it goes without saying that the more electricity you use, the more you're going to pay. And it's not free unless you have a photovoltaic system and you're generating your own electricity, and you're not depending on the power grid. So what are the reasons why electricity is so costly? Okay, it depends on the number of people in your household. So if you're a single person or you're a couple, your electric bill shouldn't be that high unless you're running your air conditioners 24/7 and have central air or even a split system. So in households that have multi-generation, 2 or more, there's a lot more people, right? So therefore, there's a lot more use of electricity, lighting, cooking, and that kind of thing. Also, some major appliances like your water heater, air conditioning, as I mentioned, refrigerators and freezers, they're all running constantly. So they're using a lot of juice, using a lot of electricity. Now, there's ways to save, but a lot of households, they have multiple air conditioning, and they not only have a refrigerator in their house, they might have one in their garage or lanai. They might have a freezer. So it just all depends. I've been to many houses where they have 2 refrigerators and 1 freezer, and they have a separate refrigerator out either in the garage or lanai, and it's full of snacks and beer. So, of course, it's plugged in and it's using a lot of electricity all the time. Okay, so those are some things to be aware, and you probably know about it. Now, what is the cost of making electricity? Electricity just doesn't appear, or it just doesn't come, from the ground or from the sky or from the air. So remember the old trains before, and even today, the power that's generated to operate the train comes from coal, burning the coal, and that's a fossil fuel. And how much coal do we have in the world? Eventually, there may not be any more, right? So the other thing is when they burn the coal, it's creating more emissions. So the trend now is for these electric companies to get away from fossil fuels, get away from burning coal. There's also oil, and the cost of oil fluctuates, and a lot of times it just goes up super high. And that when you have to fill gas and the gas is more expensive, that's a contributing factor that's caused by the high cost of oil. And then there's labor and material, which is always increasing. The labor cost doesn't get any lower. So these are factors regarding the cost of making electricity. Now, of course, when the electric company has to buy the materials to make the electricity, if it goes up, your bill goes up. If it goes down, your bill should go down too. But I haven't seen the bills go down that much because the cost keeps increasing. Okay, so Hawaii Electric is trying to, in the long term, get away from fossil fuels and dependent on oil. And basically what they want to do is go towards alternative energy, which is from the sun, PV solar, from the wind, like these wind turbines, a windmill. And there's even talk about having windmills and solar panels on a lot more vacant land and even in the ocean. And there's also wave generated energy. So people are coming up with, inventors and scientists coming up with different ways to generate energy besides burning coal and oil and that kind of thing. So it's happening in the future. Now, why is the cost rising? The cost is rising because of inflation too, right? So not only labor, the cost of labor is increasing, the cost of coal and oil, but just inflation factor. So even if these products do not increase, the fact that the inflation is getting higher causes everything to go up. So the cost of goods is going up. And you can tell when you go to the store, grocery store, and you buy milk and eggs, you know, your basic necessities, even water, bottled water, it just keeps going up and up and up. And when you think about how the distributors have to get the product to the grocery store, right? They have to truck it, and the cost of gas to fill the trucks is expensive. So they have to pass that on to the consumer. So just to give you an example, about a month or two ago, I was buying cases of bottled water, and it was like $6-7. And just yesterday, I went to buy a couple cases, and every single brand was over $9 a case for bottled water. I mean, that's really, really getting up there. So let's look at your Hawaiian Electric bill, how to read your electric bill, your Hawaiian Electric bill explained. Now, I'm not going to explain how to read it because that may take another hour, and this webinar is only supposed to be half an hour long. So the takeaway here is you go to Hawaiian Electric's website, hawaiianelectric.com, and there's a section on how to read your electric bill. And it basically looks like this. The heading says your Hawaiian Electric bill explain, or how to read your electric bill. And I'll just briefly mention some of the things that must be included in your electric bill. So when you do get your electric bill and you find that some of these, the information is missing, then that's actually wrong by the utility company. Okay, so they have to follow these standards. Okay, the standards are set by the Public Utilities Commission. So it's a regulatory agency. So Hawaiian Electric can't just send their electric bill out that has the amount of what you have to pay. They can't just send that with no explanation. That's against the regulations. Okay, so they're under strict guidelines from the Public Utilities Commission as how to even formulate the electric bill and what should be on the bill. Okay, so let me go through some items that should be on your electric bill. So when you get your bill, most people don't even read it. They only look at the amount. Okay, they look at how much they have to pay. They don't bother to look at all these different things on the top of the bill. Some people look at the graph, and the graph, if you look at the graph, it basically, without even reading your readings every month, right? If you look at the graph, you can tell, you know, how much electricity is being used, right? If it's lower, if it went up, if it went down, that gives you a good indication without having to look at all the numbers. Okay, so here's the things that your electric bill must include. It has to have your meter number, your address, and the meter reading. Okay, the meter reading is the numbers from the time of billing. So the beginning and end of the service period for which the bill is rendered. So your bill says $150. It has to say when the reading started, and it may not necessarily be at the beginning of the month to the end of the month. Okay, it may be a different time period. So it has to have the dates of the billing period. And then it also has has to have the amount of the kilowatts used and the charge, the kilowatt per hour charge. Okay, that has to be there. And then also the total amount of the bill. Okay, so you know how much to pay. Now, if your bill is just an estimate, it has to say the words estimate on your bill so that you know it's an estimated bill and not somebody coming to read your meter, or if it's read electronically. Okay, and then there's going to be a comparison, which is basically the graph showing your electrical usage. So if you use more electricity, of course the bar on the graph is going to go higher and higher, right? And then let's say you go on vacation and you're gone for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or whatever, your electric bill should be lower, and then the graph showing your usage should be, that bar should be a lot lower. So for instance, when I went out of town on vacation for close to a month, when I got my electric bill, the total amount was like almost in half. So that's a good indication that the meter's working properly, and I was assured that I did save money because I wasn't home to use all the electricity. Okay, so that's basically, in a nutshell, your bill. Now, you might, if you're interested, you might want to go to the top of your bill and look at all these different charges. Now, I'm not going to explain, but you're going to have what's called a RMP, DSM charge, PPF, Renewable Infrastructure Program, and a Green Infrastructure Fee. And I'm just gonna talk about the PBF, which is a Public Benefits Fund. And what that is a surcharge that Hawaiian Electric collects money to fund Hawaii Energy. Okay, so Hawaii Energy is a third-party administrator that creates and manages energy efficient programs, including the Energy Star, which is appliances or light bulb rebate or all that. So if you have like an Energy Star that the logo is on an air conditioner you bought or some appliance, you can actually go to Hawaiian Electric and get a rebate, okay, because they work with that third-party administrator. So Hawaiian Electric is trying to help the consumer. The other thing that you may not know is that you're paying in your electric bill, part of the fund, okay, it goes towards advertising and promotion, okay, and what that is when you see these commercials or advertisements in the paper from Hawaiian Electric that says use more solar or PV or Energy Star and this and that, hey, that's not coming out of Hawaiian Electric's pocket for advertising. That's coming out of the consumer's pocket. And so you're paying some monies for Hawaiian Electric to promote. Okay, so people don't really know that. And some people go, well, I didn't agree to that and all that. But it's kind of interesting, because if you look at Hawaiian Electric, they're in business to make money selling you electricity, right? On the other hand, the more electricity they sell, the more money they make, right? So why would they want to promote alternative energy that has nothing to do with the electricity? Like if you're putting a windmill up or you're putting PV panels or whatever, isn't it going to reduce the money that you would pay to Hawaiian Electric? Yeah, it would, but everybody's kind of in the same boat here. It's all about saving electricity, and if and Hawaiian Electric standpoint is, if you can put PV or have batteries usage and you don't have to buy electricity from us, then that's better for you, because then you'd be saving money, right? And there's what's called a PPA agreement, which is a power purchase agreement. And some people have entered in the contract. And basically what that is you enter in a contract with an independent third party that's not Hawaiian Electric. And this entity basically leases space on the roof of your house or roof of your building. And then part of the agreement is they sell electricity back to you for less kilowatt per hour than what you're paying to Hawaiian Electric. So in essence, it's a better deal for you, right? But it all depends whether you want to be stuck with a lease. And that's why a lot of homeowners and building owners prefer to just purchase outright their PV system. And that way, they don't have to worry about leasing space on the roof or having to deal with, at the end of the 20-year, 25-year period when the PPA is up, you have a buyback provision where you're going to buy back the equipment that's on your roof, right? But by that time, the equipment is hardly worth any money, because over time there's depreciation, and also, you know, every year they're coming up with, you know, the newer model of you know, PV panels. So by the term expiration date of the power purchase agreement, your system is outdated already. So you don't even want to keep it anymore, because there's better equipment that's going to be on the market at that time. So anyway, that's what I'm telling you about here. Now, here's some tips, things to do to conserve electricity. You can install a solar system. You can install a PV system. You can, if you have a water heater that's electric, you can install a water heater timer, because if you don't have a timer, your water heater is on 24/7. Okay, so in other words, you're using a lot of electricity to heat the water up so that it's always hot in your water heater. But do you actually need hot water at all times? The answer is no, right? So you really need hot water for washing dishes after a meal, and then also for taking a bath or shower, right? So most times during the day when you're off working, your water heater can be off for 8 hours or so. And when I mean off, it's not heating up. You're not using electricity to heat the water, and then the timer, when you set it to certain hours, it will go on at like 5 p.m. and off at 9 p.m. And that way, during the other times, it's not on. So you're saving a bunch of electricity, because your water heater uses a lot of electricity. Okay. And then your motion lighting. So instead of having, you know, lights on all the time, maybe outside of your house, you install these motion lighting. So you have devices, so the light only goes on when, you know, there's motion. Okay, so that's another way to save money. So for big condominium buildings, you can install LED lighting and motion lighting for parking and other areas, and that really saves on your electric bill. And so that kind of wraps up what I have to say. So the last words is, they got the power. And why am I saying that? I'm saying that because Hawaiian Electric is a monopoly. They're the only electric company that you can basically buy your electricity from, unless you have a PPA agreement and you buy it from a third party, right? That's basically the only way. And the other way is if you're off the grid totally, okay, and you're not depending on Hawaiian Electric, and you're generating electricity on your own, but that's kind of rare. I've only seen some people that have PV panels and enough panels to power their whole house, and they don't need to be on the grid. They still have the electric meter, and they pay like $18 or $20 a month as the minimum electric bill, and that's it. So they're basically off the grid per se. They have a battery backup, battery storage system, and they're off and away. They don't want to depend on the grid. And there's quite a few people on the mainland who are actually off the grid. They're out in the wilderness, in the country, and they just don't want to depend on the utility company because maybe the utility company is spotty, or it costs too much to run power to their house because they're acres away. You got to drive far into the country, and there's no electricity in that area. So I'm gonna probably not give a conclusion here, except just be mindful of the electric bill and try to do what you can to save your own electricity in your own house and in your own building. If you're a condo board member, you may want to look at alternative forms of saving energy. Now, what you missed, we've given numerous webinars on building and construction matters, and if you go to our website, you can watch the on-demand. Every webinar we give, we tape it and record it and put it up on our website. And we've done webinars on almost every single subject, from roofing, asphalt paving, concrete spalling, cast iron piping, electrical, hurricane ties, contractor licensing, building permits and codes, and there's a whole list. So we welcome you to go check it out and see if you can learn some things, and send us some comments, or if you have ideas for future topics for webinars, let us know also. And then what's coming up, I have a list here of webinar titles. So for this year, we've given how long does it last, about equipment, fire code inspections, ancient buildings in Italy. And then so from here on, the next webinar is, and this is a on-demand one, people requested this. The title is DPP, Why is my building permit taking so long? And that's going to be on March 21st. And then if you go to our website, it has a listing of the dates and the topics, and you can register for 1, 2, or all of them if you want. So I'll just go down the list of topics: emergency generators, then climate change and global warming, real or fake news, condo board errors, condo lawsuits, there's trouble in paradise. Then we go to construction, the 7 stages of construction, and then 14 types of building structure components. And then back to Hawaii, Aloha Stadium, from rust to dust, real estate development process, water damage, flood remediation, construction defect litigation cases. I'm going to be talking about actual cases that I've worked on as an expert witness on construction defect litigation cases. And then renovation is no vacation. If you renovate your house or condo, it's really no vacation. I'll be giving you tips on what to do, how to deal with the contractor, how to work with the contractor. And then we're switching gears, talking about real estate. A topic is real estate seller disclosure. That's always been a hot topic, just because there's a lot of litigation and conflict on that. And then after that, another webinar, International Residential Code. And then a little twist here, cliff dwelling construction. I'll be talking about houses that are on cliffs. And then this is one by demand too. The rail, the big, bad, and the ugly. I'll be talking about that. Then after that, Red Hill, the big Navy blunder. And that takes us to December. Why hire a construction manager? And then in December, we're having a holiday party for all the people who have attended our webinars in the past. And I think last year we gave away probably $1,000 of gift cards. So it's not just a boring party. It's a fun party. We have games, prizes, and all that. We're not even going to be talking about anything to do with building or construction, and it's going to be fun. So what else do I have here? Oh, visit our website, askbuildingexpert.now.site. We have a list of webinars that you can watch on demand. We have handouts. I think we put up our PowerPoints as our handouts, and then we have publications, books. We also have expert websites that you can visit regarding certain topics like concrete spalling repair, cast iron piping, fire safety, and those kind of things. So we urge you to spend time on our website. We've been building it for the past 3 years, and it's getting pretty big to maintain. And then, let us know if you watch like 3 or more webinars. Well, we don't have it ready yet, but we're actually developing our own microwave popcorn. So what we're gonna do is, if you watch 3 or more webinars, we might when we have the popcorn, let us know. We'll send you a box so you can pop it and enjoy your popcorn while you're watching our webinars. So I think that's always fun. And then right now, I'm going to open it up for Q&A. You got questions, I got answers. If you need to contact me, my phone number is 808-422-2132. And email lanceluke@hawaiibuildingexpert.com. I've gotten emails from people that they tried to call, but the number was not working or something. But I had to remind them that they had to use the 808. And then one person was dialing 800, and then that's why I never got the message. I don't know who he called. I think he left a message, and it was a hair salon in Oregon or something. So anyway, let's see if anybody has questions either on our Zoom platform or Facebook, and then I'll bring Martin back, and then we can talk story. So Martin, are you there?
Yes, Lance, I'm here. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, good.
Okay, we've had a few questions that have come in on our different media here. So let me ask you the first one, kind of a good one. Please explain the difference between solar versus PV. Is it not the same?
Well, basically, it is the same. Okay. Now, commonly, solar panels, or when people say thermal solar or solar, that's for their hot water. Okay. So normally you have two solar panels, and it's your solar for your hot water. Now, there's a PV, which is photovoltaic, and it's similar to the solar panel, but the solar panel, okay, in a lot of versions for your water heater, actually has water going through it, and it heats up the water in the panel. And not every one is like that, but this is one type. The PV panels don't hold any water. They're just generating electricity. So it's kind of similar in look, but in functionality, and the definition is a little different. So solar basically refers to the energy that's produced by the sun. Okay, so if you go out to the beach, right, and you're wearing your beach wear, that's actually solar energy because the sun is shining on your skin, right? So the difference is the PV, photovoltaic, refers to the technology used to convert the sunlight into electricity. So solar energy is created by the sun's rays. The PV technology is actually using a semiconductor material to generate electric current from the sun and then converts it into electricity. Okay, so that's basically the difference. People interchange solar with PV, and that's fine too. Just remember that there's a difference in the type of panels that are being used. And then I like to add that right now there's technology and people are working on the technology to have solar windows. So when you put windows on your house or a building, that would generate electricity. Okay, and then the same with roofing. There's already roofing shingles on the market now that are solar type shingles. They're not solar reflective shingles. They're solar shingles that are connected. So each shingle has a little wire connected and it's all series. So when the sun shines on the shingles, it's generating electricity as if the little shingles were small PV panels. So it's getting interesting. And then I just saw a study about solar walls where you have panels of the wall to your house and it generates electricity too, but I haven't seen a report or anything on that yet. So basically that's the difference.
Oh, interesting. That's very interesting, the developments, yeah, in solar. Well, let me give you the next question that's been shared with us here. And this person says, some people told me that we are paying for HECO to promote alternate forms of energy. I did not agree to this. Is this part of the reason our electric bills are so high?
No, not really, because if you look at your bill, you're only paying a small, dollars for that. And the deal is, it's not the consumer that decided that. The Public Utility Commission, the regulatory agency, decided that for you. So by virtue of that agency saying to Hawaiian Electric, you have to help promote alternate forms of energy, and we're going to give you money to do that. And Hawaiian Electric says, oh yeah, well, where's the money coming from? And so they developed a system where when you pay your electric bill, you're paying some of that money for the promotion, for Hawaiian Electric to promote. I mean, you might think of it as like a tax per se, but you can't opt out, right? It's already included in your bill. You can go to PUC, Public Utilities Commission, and argue, but you probably won't get anywhere because this has been in existence for a while. And I think it's good for promotion because we need to get the word out to have alternate forms of energy here rather than keep using our electricity from Hawaiian Electric. So sorry, you can't opt out, but that's just how it is.
Okay, Lance, thanks for that answer. Here's another interesting question that's come in and it's something that we can relate to. There was a power outage recently and my computer got damaged. I filed a claim, but it was denied. I thought Hawaiian Electric is responsible for power outages.
Well, they're responsible for fixing the cause of the power outage, okay? But how can they be responsible per se if you had like a lightning bolt strike a Hawaiian Electric pole and zap the power out or explode their transformer, or there's a hurricane, heavy wind, and a tree falls on the power line up on the mountain. So acts of God and all that, they can't be held responsible for that. So basically, they're not responsible. So power outages are usually caused by weather, equipment failure, old equipment, or other things that Hawaiian Electric should not be responsible for. But if it's old equipment, yeah, maybe they should have replaced equipment and they should be responsible. But what happens is you're going to end up paying for the new equipment, right? So it's one of those gray areas. So Hawaiian Electric always strives to maintain reliable service, by working with the customers. And anytime you can call and tell them, hey, I think there's an issue here, and they'll, send people out. So if your claim was denied, I would say discuss it with customer service so that you can understand what happened. Now, it's up to the individual to be sure that you have backup for your computer, so that you have devices. So if there's a power outage, your computer doesn't get fried. It's not Hawaiian Electric's responsibility. It's your computer. You have to take steps to install devices that would protect from a power outage, right? So I have those devices on my computers, but one time there was some kind of outage, and then I filed a claim and I got some reimbursement. It's not like big, but it was better than nothing. So even if you take steps to protect your computer, there could be high voltage in the lines or whatever that causes some zapping. Or I remember at one time there was these rolling blackouts and all that, and you can never really know when it was going to happen, right? At any time. So the grid was maxed out, and then they could just shut off power to entire neighborhoods at any given time, for their protection. So imagine trying to work on your computer and you don't know when the power is going to go off. So that's when I just took my laptop out and used the battery from that. I wasn't using my electricity because I couldn't handle a failure and lose my document that I was working on. So yeah, basically Hawaiian Electric is not responsible, but I mean, if it's their failure that they didn't take proper steps to maintain their equipment, and it's due to their negligence, then it would be kind of a gray area.
Good question. Good answers to the questions there, Lance.
Okay.
We got one more so far here that kind of looks like another personal one. It says, I had a power failure and called Hawaiian Electric. They came to my house and said the problem is my house main breaker, and that they are not responsible for the repair because that breaker is not theirs. Were the workers lazy and should have fixed it?
Okay. Let me explain that Hawaiian Electric owns all the wiring. The high voltage wiring is, if it's not underground, if it's above ground, and I call it the telephone poles. I mean, that's kind of a misnomer because those poles are actually there for Hawaiian Electric, but the telephone company, cable companies, everyone uses the same pole, right, to run their line. So it's basically a electric pole, not a telephone pole. But so Hawaiian Electric owns those lines, okay? And then there's a line from that main pole, and if you have overhead service, okay, their line is running from the main pole from the street to your house, okay, and then going to your electric meter. If you don't have overhead service, if it's underground, it's the same thing. The Hawaiian Electric main wire runs from the street all the way to your house meter. Now, it runs to your house meter, and then from the meter, it goes to your main. And your main is your main breaker, which controls all the power to your house. Okay. So Hawaiian Electric actually owns up to the electric meter, and the electric meter is actually Hawaiian Electric's meter, but basically they say it's yours. Okay, so from the meter to the main to and the wiring to your house, it's all the homeowner's responsibility. So you can say that from your main all the way to your house, all that equipment is a homeowner's. It's not Hawaiian Electric's. Okay, so when you have a power outage and your main or some kind of device inside your house doesn't work, that's your responsibility, not Hawaiian Electric's. But Hawaiian Electric can advise you, like they would test the main and they would say, oh, your main's not working. You know, we can't fix it. You have to call your own electrician, because that's not Hawaiian Electric's equipment. So they don't just go, oh, well, yeah, we tested all our equipment and it works, so we're leaving, you're on your own now. They actually are very helpful, because that happened to me several times on my own house. I had an old main, and they came out, and one time it was their line that was faulty, so they did a temporary fix. Another time my main was faulty, and they tested my main, and they actually told me you know, what to do. Of course I kind of knew what to do already, but I wanted to see what they were going to say, and I didn't tell them that I was an electrical inspector also. I kind of acted like a regular homeowner. And then when he started talking to me about the main amperage and all that, then I started talking back, and then he realized, hey, you know, kind of a lot about electrical, huh? And I said, oh yeah, because I'm an electrical inspector too. And he says, oh, okay, so you already know that this is your responsibility. And I said, yeah, I was just trying to test you guys so I can see how much you guys know. But I mean, they were very courteous and helpful, and they came out like pretty fast. And when they come out, it's one guy with a truck that has all equipment and all that. So, you know, he could have easily fixed it. The problem I had with my main line is that one guy couldn't fix the main line. He had to bring another truck that has a boom lift to because they had to lift the overhead wiring from the street all the way to my house, and I live on a hill, so it wasn't easy. It took them about 4 hours to do that. They hooked up a temporary line so I could still get electricity, and then later on they had to figure out the underground. They had to pull a new wire through the conduit. So it was all good. I was happy with the service and work they did, and they were very helpful. I mean, if you have questions about your electricity inside your house, they can actually you know, give you guidance on that too, although that's not their responsibility. Normally they just say, oh, you got to get your own electrician to check it out. Okay, so basically that's it. Any other questions, comments on Zoom or Facebook?
No, Lance, nothing else for today. But I just want to say you've done a good job as usual, and my takeaway is you know, definitely do what you can to save your energy. Yeah, we've done all the solar stuff. I think the next thing is to get the battery. Yeah.
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 Okay, sounds good. So once again, if you guys are located in Hawaii, please attend the Building Expo, which is this week, Wednesday and Thursday, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then inviting you guys to attend our webinar, I mean, actual live seminar, tomorrow, Wednesday at 10 a.m. at the NBC. It's free. It's all free. You need to register though, because it's not open to the public. You need to say, who you are. If you're a realtor, real estate person, condo board member, or contractor, that kind of.
So Lance, can that also be, you're like a homeowner that's got to look at those kind of things too?
Well, it could be a homeowner, but you may wanna don't tell the promoter I told you this, but come up with some kind of name instead of Joe Blow homeowner. Come up with some kind of company name so that it looks more official, because it's not open to the public. But you can put like real estate investor, or come up with a title that would allow you in. If you're not connected with anything to do with real estate, construction, condominiums, then I don't, it's not open to general public, but it's open to people who are related to the industry. So if you have a problem and you're a homeowner, okay, and you think that there may be an issue, just write down my company name, Construction Management Inspection, okay, and then they'll let you in, okay. But you have to be, mellow. You can't go in and be rowdy and all that. So anyway,
just for your information too, I put the links in the chat and on the Zoom for our site, so they can get all the details about the event also.
Okay, and then you can register too and enter a drawing. We're giving away $100 restaurant gift certificate. That's just our way of saying thank you for your support attending our webinar and all that. So hope to see you guys at the next webinar, which is DPP. Why is my building permit taking so long? And then go to our website and download our free books. We have, what do we have? We got, the latest one is the Monster House. I wrote a book about monster houses. If you're interested, get that one. And then we have the How Safe Is Your Building for February. For March, we haven't come up with our book yet, so I'm still finishing the editing and all that. All right, so thank you for attending. Hope to see you at the next one, and come to the show if you can. Aloha.
Aloha.